The National Sports Festival is a biennial multi-sports event that started in 1973 at the National Stadium, Surulere, Lagos. It was conceived as a unifying tool to promote unity and peaceful coexistence among Nigerians. It is also a forum to train local athletes to prepare for Olympics and other continental as well as intercontinental games. Now, after a third postponement, the 20th edition of the festival has finally been scheduled for April 4. But the Games Village will open April 2nd to receive athletes from the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. Now, the event will run through February 14 and 15 for the close of the Games Village for the festival, which tagline remains Edo 2020, despite series of shifts from the original March 2020 date. So on Midweek Connect this morning, we'll be looking at the timelines of the festival.
The journey so far, preparations, participation, and expectations. Also this morning, Angie Epilepsy Foundation will be joining us to talk to us about the World Purple Day this year, causes, danger, and treatment of epilepsy. You know, when we talk about epilepsy in Edo State, the foundation readily comes to mind. They have been in the forefront in the campaign, advocacy, education, and empowerment of persons with epilepsy and their families. Very good morning to you and welcome to the program Midweek Connect. My name is Ufoma Esegine.
As always, I am Agatha Egwari Ojo. A very good morning to you and welcome to this edition of Midweek Connect. Foma,
Yeah, you're looking
sporty.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing there. Yes, we're looking sportish
yeah,
because
gearing up for the sports festival.
Ooh.
Remember, you promised that you will be part of the games.
I will be part of the games, but that will be in the supporters club.
All right. Okay, good morning again and welcome to Midweek Connect. Like you know, today we are talking about preparations, expectations from the sports festival, scheduled to commence in about a week from now.
Yes,
April 2nd.
yes.
Yeah, of course.
On the 4th.
On the 4th.
The camp will open on the 2nd,
Yes.
and then the games proper will start on the 4th.
Okay.
And yeah, so we shall be joined by a member of the
the local organizing committee. He will be telling us more about the festival. Like you know, this is the World Purple Day week, talking about epilepsy. The Angie Epilepsy Foundation, the president of that foundation, will be joining us. Just to let you know also that we are streaming live on our YouTube channel, NTA Benin. You can be a part of that program and of course there will be that time where you can call in, make your contributions, make your suggestions, talk about the sports festival.
Yes, and of course we have, like we'll have two guests today.
Yeah.
One will be coming in, then later we'll have the man from the
festival.
member of the sports local organizing committee of Edo 2020, and you have an opportunity to call when we open the phone lines. Call, ask questions, make your contributions, and share your thoughts with us. And we'll still go to the streets to find out what they think about what we're discussing today. And because of time, we're going straight to our Kickstarter, which is the News Tidbits. Agatha.
All right, now a three-member ad hoc committee has been constituted by the Edo State House of Assembly to investigate a petition alleging land racketeering and intimidation of some members of Enyan community by the Enogie of Enyan, His Royal Highness Osazuwa Iduriase.
I want to use this opportunity to urge all members to make yourselves available for all committee functions within this time frame in order to meet the needs of our people.
And to COVID-19 update now, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control has announced 214 new cases of COVID-19 infections in the country. They are in 11 states and the FCT. A breakdown indicates that Adamawa has 109, Lagos 33, Bauchi 26, Kaduna 9, Rivers 9, FCT 7, Oyo 7, Gombe 5, Osun 3, Ekiti and Ogun 1 each. Now 162,076 cases have been confirmed nationwide, 148,530 discharged, and 2,031 deaths recorded so far. In the meantime, Edo State has vaccinated over 7,484 persons across the 18 local government areas of the state with the Oxford AstraZeneca coronavirus 9 vaccine since Monday, March 15, 2021, when the state flagged off its vaccination exercise. Executive Secretary of the state's Primary Health Care Development Agency, Dr. Julie Irabo, disclosed this during the virtual meeting of the state COVID-19 task force chaired by Governor Godwin Obaseki. Dr. Irabo, who noted that the state has intensified the vaccination exercise in high population density areas as well as rural communities, said Edo State has so far not recorded any adverse incident since the commencement of vaccination. She disclosed that the state has a special team of health workers with a target to reach more people in the metropolis, adding that the state is setting up 20 more vaccination sites in Oedo Local Government Council to increase its vaccination coverage. Dr. Irabo said Oedo Local Government, with 1,858, has the highest number of persons vaccinated, followed by Ego, Esako East, and Owan West, with 619,588 and 507 respectively. Others are Kokwedo 336, Asan Central 275, Asan Northeast 102, Asan Southeast 257, Asan West 137, Esako Central 474, Esako West 234, Igweben 277, Ikoboha 271, Orion 380, Ovia Northeast 392, Ovia Southwest 172, Owan East 422, and Ohunode 123 persons vaccinated. Meanwhile, the state COVID-19 incident manager, Dr. Andrew Obi, said Edo recorded 1 new case and 18 recoveries from COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, with no death in 8 days. He also said that new cases were reported from Ira Specialist Teaching Hospital Laboratory, while the 18 recoveries were reported from the Stella Obasanjo Hospital and Ira Specialist Teaching Hospital isolation facilities. Now, as countdown to the Edo 2020 National Sports Festival ticks down, sports lovers and athletes are looking forward to a great tournament ahead of the kickoff April 2nd.
Edo athletics that are going to be representing those states in the national festival. I hope that all things being equal, they will try their best to give us that gold medals.
As an athlete, as a player, you need to do some extra work on your own.
And then coaches also have to be trained, because if the coaches are not trained, to impact knowledge on the young ones coming up will be a problem. So we just hope, and then the entire country flood Benin, that short period, and let us just enjoy it. And at the end of the day, Edo State, of course, will come out first.
Yes, Edo State will come out first at the end of the day, Puma. That's the mistake.
Yes, that's our fervent prayers that Edo State will come out top as a host state.
Yeah.
Edo State is a very, very good state. We've made a lot of, we just saw Austin Aguafon.
Yeah,
I remember the days
homeboy.
of them. Aaron Wosu, Stephen Keshi, who was with the new Nigerian bank then in Benin. We are indeed. I think Nduga, this is also from the state. So,
All right, I'm not so much into a sports thing, but
Yes.
for this sports festival, I'm going to give it a try.
Okay, please do.
All right, we'll take a break now. When we return, our first guest, President Angie Epilepsy Foundation, will be joining us. Do stay with us.
Hey guys, welcome to South 7 Jobs.
My baby, you know I learn from the best to the best.
Oluwana ain't comforting me. When
we begin to have diarrhea, which of course can lead to severe health situation.
It's called the base.
from all of us, keep watching Schools Debates on NTA Benin Network Center.
I want to use this medium to appeal to Edo State citizens to always recognize the COVID-19 protocols.
A very warm welcome to you. This is Frontline.
The history that comes with NTA Benin has manifested.
It's another exciting time out right here on Praise Vibes.
Now you felt you can't kakabo. No, you told them when you or tihi. Okay, can I be where all the way is maybe.
For these enlightening, educative, and entertaining programs, watch NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
Coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, is an infectious disease that affects the respiratory system. Symptoms of coronavirus include fever, cough, shortness of breath. In more severe cases, infection can cause pneumonia or breathing problems. More rarely, the disease can be fatal, but that's mainly among older people with pre-existing conditions. The virus is transmitted through direct contact with respiratory droplets from an infected person and by touching surfaces that are contaminated. People should maintain at least 3 feet of distance between themselves and people who are coughing, sneezing, and have a fever. To prevent the coronavirus infection, wash your hands frequently for at least 20 seconds using soap and running water or alcohol-based hand rub, sanitizer, or gel. Cover your mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing. You can also use your elbow when sneezing or use a tissue, then throw it in the bin immediately. Avoid crowded areas. Anybody who shows symptoms of coronavirus should visit the hospital immediately. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA Benin Network Center.
Is this supposed to be
All right,
like
thank
this?
you for staying tuned. The program is Midweek Connect. Like we told you earlier, we are kicking off with the World Purple Day commemoration of this year's World Purple Day. I understand it's a week-long event, and the President Angie Epilepsy Foundation is here. Good morning.
Good
Welcome.
morning.
This is Angela Asuera Asemota. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
We are having decorations.
Yes,
here
yes.
and
It's kaleidoscope today. Yes, we have on the blue. I mean the purple color.
Yeah.
And let's start with that, madam. What is the Purple Day? What is it all about?
This year's commemoration.
Purple Day is an annual event, a day that is dedicated to the sensitization of the general public of the reality of epilepsy and the need for the public to come to the aid of those who cannot help themselves. Many years, Purple Days have been celebrated. Awareness is taken to grassroots. Every Purple year, people come together. Every Purple Day, people come together to talk about epilepsy, to look at people whose life has been badly affected by epilepsy. Because many families have died. Many children with epilepsy have committed suicide. As we speak, many are contemplating because of stigma. So because of this, Purple Day takes care of this. There's a grassroots sensitization during Purple Day. Families of epilepsy get to know that they are not alone and that their children with epilepsy can live normal lives.
Okay, you've been in the forefront in this marking World Purple Day, and of course advocacy for the plight of people with epilepsy. How has the journey been? What more can you tell us? Where do you come in when it comes to the plight of patients with epilepsy?
I am a parent of a child with epilepsy. Before I started doing advocacy on epilepsy, I was once like the people we are trying to educate now. I was ignorant about epilepsy. I thought epilepsy was witchcraft. I thought epilepsy was contagious. I thought children with epilepsy cannot succeed in life. But that drove me into this advocacy when I realized that a child that is taking treatment in the hospital, that is having medical treatment, can live normal life. So I decided to take my advocacy to the world at large, to let the world know that epilepsy is a mere brain disorder. That once a child is diagnosed of epilepsy, what he needs is the right medication for his own type of epilepsy, and he will begin to do well.
Now, what are yeah, in your opening remarks, you talked about stigmatization and all of that. What are the plight of the patients, people who live with epilepsy, and how do you come in?
Yes, stigma is one of the things that has ruined children with epilepsy, because people want to run away from them. People don't want them to come around. If a child with epilepsy comes to a parent to visit his friend, the parent of that child will say, please don't come here again, don't come and give us epilepsy, don't come and give us epilepsy here. Then that child will go home and be withdrawn. He begins to see himself as a write-up. Then he may begin to ask his parents, why am I still here? I'm of no use to be here. And may kill himself or do something drastic to himself. But now that we have come to create awareness, we have shed more light on epilepsy. We have told the world that once a child is diagnosed of epilepsy, there's no need for stigma. A child does not need to be stigmatized, because when the child is on medication, he can do well, he can live normal lives. He will not have seizures in the public that will make him lose his self-confidence. So medication is key to the treatment of epilepsy. And when you are adhering to medication, there will be no need for stigma, because people ordinarily who are ignorant about epilepsy may not even see you falling. You will not give them room for them to stigmatize you. However, stigmatization is a burden of epilepsy in Nigeria, because even if people talk every day, you see some people, even the elites, who will tell you, go and sit down, epilepsy, they not fit cure am. But as I sit here to tell you today that epilepsy is treatable, and there is no need for stigma.
One of people that I'm going to ask for, like you said, there are some people who really cannot take care of themselves, like the less privileged. What is being done about those set of people?
Okay, because we have orphans with epilepsy. Yeah. We have the very poor people with epilepsy. And epilepsy is treated into years. It's not treated like malaria that you just go across the counter, you buy medication, after 3 days you are standing up. If you must treat epilepsy very well, it is treated for 3 to 5 years, day in, day out. And we are talking about poor people, orphans, people with other disabilities. How can they help themselves? That is why when we do Purple Day, we bring people together, people who can support epilepsy. Like, I go out to appeal for people to adopt children. For instance, I solicit for people to the public, come and adopt a child. It could be 3 months treatment you can afford, do it. It could be 1 year, do it. It could be 3 years, do it. But what we want is, we do not want a child who has started medication to break it because the child is poor or because the child is an orphan.
Okay.
That is the essence of Purple Day.
Is the treatment expensive?
Good.
Yes. Medication is expensive, especially now that everything has gone up. If you actually want to treat epilepsy very well, you must go for the right medication, because epilepsy has different types. So if you are taking a medication a wrong medication for a type of epilepsy, it may not work. So you need to get the right medication for that type of epilepsy for it to work out very well.
Can you just get your closing thoughts on this issue? What Purple Day, commemoration of what Purple Day and epilepsy?
Okay, we this year we have a week-long event. We are doing grassroots awareness. We are market awareness, street awareness, radio awareness. We want to get across to everybody that people should know what epilepsy is about, what actually causes epilepsy, because that is the root of the problem. Because the best treatment for epilepsy is prevention, not to have epilepsy at all. So how do you prevent it?
Is it communicable?
No.
So when you say prevention,
Yes, the best treatment for it is prevention, because you have to prevent epilepsy. When children are not born in the hospital, they are born at home, they become infected, they will have epilepsy. So children with jaundice should properly be treated in the hospital. Children with meningitis, children with other, birth issues should be corrected in the hospital before they are being discharged. Then also, when a woman is pregnant, to avoid infection of the baby in the womb, women should go for proper antenatal for the doctor to monitor them, because epilepsy is associated with a lot of birth issues. Children who are not properly delivered in the hospital may end up having seizures. So this is why we advocate that women should deliver their babies in the hospital, because the healthier a baby is, the far away from epilepsy the baby is.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Mrs. Angela Aswera Asemota, President, Angie Epilepsy Foundation. Thank you so much for your time.
God bless you.
All right, we'll take a break now. When we return, the main course for the day, Edo 2020. Please stay with us.
Do you live in Aduawa and its environment? Or you need a conducive and open field in Aduawa for your wedding receptions, birthday parties, annual ceremonies, family or corporate events in a serene and conducive environment that is close to nature? Then look no further. NTA Benin Aduawa is the place for you. NTA Benin Aduawa has a large field for all your other events and ceremonies. Also, at NTA Corporate Headquarters, TV Road, we have a state-of-the-art, fully air-conditioned, ultra-modern hall for all kinds of indoor events with a standby generating set to ensure constant power supply. We also have the NTA Pavilion for all your outdoors events at the same venue. Guess what? Our prices are affordable, locations are easily accessible, venues conducive and highly secure. Our outside broadcast van is available 24 hours and can broadcast your event live. And above all, you can air your event on our award-winning programs like Events and Style. Wow, what are you waiting for? Grab this opportunity and have your celebration in a grand style. For inquiries and bookings, please call NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
Coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, is an infectious disease that affects the respiratory system. Symptoms of coronavirus include fever, cough, shortness of breath. In more severe cases, infection can cause pneumonia or breathing difficulties. The disease can be fatal, but that's mainly among older people with pre-existing conditions. The virus is transmitted through direct contact with respiratory droplets from an infected person and by touching surfaces that are contaminated. People should maintain at least 3 feet of distance between themselves and people, especially those who are coughing, sneezing, or have a fever. To prevent the coronavirus infection, wash your hands frequently for at least 20 seconds using soap and running water or alcohol-based hand rub, sanitizer, or gel. Cover your mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing. You can also cough or sneeze into your flex elbow or use a tissue, then throw it in the bin immediately. Avoid crowded areas. Anyone who shows symptoms of the disease should visit the hospital immediately. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority Benin Network Center.
All right, thank you for staying tuned. The program is Midweek Connect. Yes, the second segment of the program, and we're talking about the National Sports Festival, Edo 2020. And the Secretary of the Local Organizing Committee, Dr. Emmanuel Ibinosa, is here. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, madam, and good morning, viewers at home.
All right, let's see this background before we launch discussions.
After a series of postponement of the Edo State National Sports Festival, which was expected to play host to contingents from the 36 states of the Federation, the announcement by the Minister of Sport that the festival will now commence on the 2nd of April with the arrival of contingents from the various states came as a welcome development to sports enthusiasts who were looking forward to the sports fiesta. Edo State, the host state, is noted for culture and a fertile ground for fresh athletes to be discovered. The event is expected to kick off with a colorful opening ceremony which will attract athletes and spectators to the renowned Benin Kingdom. The 20th edition of the National Sport Festival is expected to kick off on the 4th of April, while the Games Village will be opened from April 2nd for the arrival of contingents. The event, though a biannual event, the festival in recent times had failed to take place as scheduled. These and more will be the focus of this week's edition of Midweek Connect this Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Adogbejo Jigba, for that background. So, Dr. Emmanuel, from March to December 2020, then February 2021, and now April, final date. Let's share your feelings.
Yes, actually, the festival was postponed on March 17, 2020, just 3 days before 4 days before the opening ceremony that was proposed then because of the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. We have to feel the world. We don't want to jeopardize the life of Nigerians or spectators that will be coming into the stadium. So when the federal government says they are postponing, yes, it pains us because everything was ready. We spent so much money. There is nothing that was not ready. And they just came 3-4 days to the opening ceremony. They said they are postponing. So because of health, because of life, because we have value for life, we now have to align with them and say, yes, okay, there is no problem. But no date was fixed after that because we didn't know how far the COVID-19 will go. But personally, I don't have any regret that we postponed it because we need to save life.
Now, this postponement, it must have come at some cost. Now, how were you able to surmount the challenges and the costs that came up? And the question is in two parts. And now, we know that you were very, very ready before the postponement.
Yes.
And some of these things, I would think that, what's their state now? Is the state really ready? Because some equipment, are they still as spick and span like?
Yes, the postponement came at a very huge cost because like the opening ceremony, everything was ready, the stage was ready, the fireworks were imported, they have expired. The stage now you can no longer use because the wood are no longer there. Some of the drugs that were bought has also expired, so we need to replace them. Then we need to keep maintaining the facilities that were built then, because for a whole year you are not using them the way they are supposed to be used. They may decay if you do not put money in there to ensure that the facilities are still in good shape. So it comes as a very huge cost. The athletes were prepared. Money was spent camping them. Allowances were paid. But at the end of the day, they have to go home. So even at the federal level, they also incur so much huge cost. Yesterday night, I was talking with the secretary of the accreditation subcommittee, and he told me that they have printed all the cards for accreditation, and now some of them are no longer there because they need to change some of the athletes. Some of the women are pregnant. Some people have left the sport. There are some of the people that are sick. So much replacement. So the cost was very, very, very huge.
In terms of the equipment that you talk about, some of them would have decayed and all of that. Are we still sure that we still are able to host very well with kind of equipment?
No, the main equipment, that is maybe like the playing equipment, for instance, the mats that you are going to use, all those ones, they never touched them. We kept them intact. They are still as new as when they were bought. So there is no problem with that at all. So those ones are still there. The ones that maybe they are no longer going to be used, even things like shuttlecock, they are still very, very much in good shape. So most of the equipments are okay. There's no problem with the equipment. The facilities were the one that we really need to be taken care of. If you don't sweep them, if you don't clean them, like the stadium, for instance, if you go there, it's still as good as when it was renovated or rebuilt, remodeled, so to say. Because if I say renovated, it's like the structure we are still there. So it's still as good as it was. So the cost of maintaining it up to now is very, very huge as well, because the contractor was also called to say, look, you have to maintain the structure that you put in place here. And he said, look, I have completed my job. It has to come at a cost. So he is still the one that is doing the maintenance. So it has not been easy. The cost is huge. And that is why we were saying that the federal government postponed the festival, even without notifying the local organizing committee. And therefore, we lost so much money. They have to come to our aid. And that is why we now say, look, the cost of postponing this thing is huge. You have to come to our aid. That is why we have been talking with the federal government to say, look, give us some money to support the hosting of the festival.
Okay, earlier you were talking about fireworks and stage fireworks expired and all of that. And media on a Monday, the media briefing by the local organizing committee, it said that the opening ceremony and closing ceremony may not be as planned. Can you perhaps?
Yeah, it has to be scaled down. As at the time this was planned, we wanted to make it the best opening ceremony that has taken place in the history of the festival. I have been part of the festival from 1973 as a under-13 participant in Lagos. So, and I have been to all the festivals except the one of 1981 that took place in Benin here, because I was doing my final exam in school then. So I know what festival is, I know what ceremony is, opening ceremony is, and the best that has taken place is that one of Rivers. And we wanted to surpass that. So the plan was really big. We were bringing people from overseas to help in the planning and to stage the very best that we can, and the costs were huge. For instance, the calisthenics, we assembled about 500 school children that were to do the display. That has been taken off now because of the COVID-19. The number of spectators, the spectators that we were expecting that the stadium will be filled up that day, now they are telling us that there might be no spectators at all. So if there are no spectators, then that was why the DG was saying maybe it's like an advanced school sport sort of. Because if there are no spectators, the glamour may not be there the way it should be. Part of the loss was even the training of those calisthenics children. It took about 3 weeks to even assemble them. We fed them, we clothed them, and then the costume they were to use, all those ones now are gone because there will be no calisthenics. Yes, there will still be fireworks, but not as much as it was planned before. So they are scaling down everything that was planned for the program that was planned for the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony to about half of what it was before.
So how will you...
Now, if you say, you just said there have been no spectators.
There might be, because we are still talking with NCDC on that, because without the spectators, I don't know how it
Yes,
works.
because I know that it was after the Civil War that this sports festival was set up, and it was mainly to bring people together, unity, integration, and when you don't have people participating, you know, the people come from outside and they don't meet people, you know, who are in the town and all of it. Isn't that one of the reasons why some people are saying there is no need for this sports festival after all?
There is still need, because when Gowon instituted the National Sport Festival in 1973, it was, like you said, after the Nigerian Civil War. And it was to integrate Nigerians because of the war that scattered everybody. You see an Igbo man is like your enemy. The Igbo man see anybody from the north, even though he's a TV person, is like an enemy. But we need to integrate. So that was why NYSC came to be. Yeah. And that was why the Sports Festival came to be. The athletes that are coming together, the entire 36 states will be coming to Edo State, including the FCT. So the athletes that are coming together, they are integrating. They are mixing up. They are making friends. Sometimes they even get married. I know in badminton, for instance, there are two, a male and a female, that got married. And both of them were at the last All Africa Games as players. So all these things are taking place. So the integration will still take place. That is why we now started the issue of games village. Before it was you stay on your own. But now there is a games village. Everybody stays in the same games village. Everybody eat in the same dining, so that the integration can be better than what it was in the past. So it is still there, even though the public might not be mixing up with them. What we might be losing there is the microeconomy aspect of the festival, because the issue at stake, purpose of the festival is, one, to ensure that your facilities are upgraded. Number two, to boost your microeconomy. Number three, to also take the mind of people away from vices, trouble. If you are watching a game, you are not going to be thinking of maybe quarreling or having malice against somebody. You are concentrating on that game. So it helps to boost psychology. It enhances our psychology. Social economy is boosted. The people that are coming to watch, they are happy at that particular time. And people selling pure water, they will come there to sell. The Okada man somewhere will come there, and I mean, people will now come and say, take me to the stadium. The taxi driver will make money. The shop around there we even sold spaces where people can establish kiosks.
Okay.
Because we know that spectators will be coming in, they will buy water, they will buy food, they will buy cloth, they even sell shoes. If you were at Abuja, the last sport festival, the National Stadium was like a big supermarket. As big as that National Stadium, there was no space. So, because people bought spaces where they can sell things. So, many people that even don't want to watch game, they come there, buy things, and go home.
Okay.
Now spectators are not going to be there. Like, okay.
But he is saying that they're still talking with the NCDC
yes,
to see how all of that will play out. I'm just wondering, how many athletes are we expecting? How many guests are we expecting?
Initially, before the postponement, we were expecting athletes and officials 11,500 athletes and officials. As for those other people that may be coming to watch, we cannot estimate that, because we don't know how many people that want to say, okay, I'm going to Benin during this holiday to go and watch the sports festival. So journalists that may be coming and all those people, we don't think of that. It is the people that we will be catering for. That is the athletes and officials that will be in the games village. We are 11,500. But because of this COVID, we have to scale down. The MOC, that's the main organizing committee, had meeting with us so that we can get everybody still in the same place, because we are to use University of Benin as hosted, both Bowo and the Kewan campus. And then we were to use the federal government guest college. So we were able to get the 11,500 that we want there. But now it's like the federal government guest college is no longer going to be there. And they want us to also space the athletes inside the room, a room that is to take 4 before, maybe we might put 2. So because of that, they now scale down the number of athletes and officials to 8,000.
Okay.
So there were 2 qualifiers before in the team sport. Football, for instance, you have those. It was a zonal elimination that they did. Let's say South-South zone. You have the winner and the runner-up at the elimination. But now it is only the winner that will be coming. So they have dropped one team from each of the team sport. Okay. So the team sports cannot be more than 7 now participating.
Okay, while we will continue discussions, I guess it's time to open the phone lines, 081-4969-3115 and 081-1295-1755. The numbers will be displayed on your screen shortly. You can call in, make your contributions to the program. I was going to ask that we haven't really started seeing the frenzy that, for instance, like the one that accompanied the original match date. We haven't started seeing much of that around.
Yeah, we really wanted to make the festival big, and the government of Edo State actually stood for that. That was why the publicity that we embarked on was massive. We were on CNN, we were on Super Sport. In fact, they are still owing us about 180 slots in Super Sport adverts. And all the radio stations, including your NTA, there was a time we had meeting with everybody that please give us some discount and then slot will be given and all those things. So if we were to pay 10 naira for it, I think we were paying 5 naira for advert, so that there will be massive awareness. People can come and watch at the stadium and all those things. But we can't do that now. We will still do, but not as much as it is. The decision as to when the festival will hold just about a week ago. So we are now putting things in order so that the billboards will come up, but not as much as it was before. The radio jingles, the television adverts and all those things, they will still be, but they will scale it down since we don't want so much spectators to come in.
No, before that last year, just moving on major streets, it tells you that something is happening.
Yes. But this time it is scaled down, but it will still be, but not as much. Okay. Only around Benin City, not even outside.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Please, what is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is John. I'm calling from Benin.
All right.
I just want to say that the organization should try and do everything possible to ensure that everyone can go to the stadium to watch this festival.
Okay.
Because I don't see the point of organizing the festival.
Okay.
So, because me, for example, I want to be at the stadium to watch the football match because I love football. So, that is just my contribution.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah. John, yes, you want to respond to that?
Yes, like I said before, the game is not just for players only, it's also for the spectators. And if the spectators are not there, the glamour will not actually be there too. So that's why we are talking with NCDC and the PTF to say, please, the whole stadium here, for instance, the capacity is about 15,000. Okay, let us take 5,000 so that the spacing can be there. And if there is a venue that takes maybe 500, okay, let us take like 150. So if we do that, the spectators can now say, okay, we are going first come, first serve, that type of a thing. But they have not really given us a yes or a no. Yeah, because they are watching the situation.
Now, this spectators thing now, and, you know, it brings to my mind this question of why the games were postponed in the first place was because of the COVID-19.
Yes.
Now, what are your plans? How do you intend to stop the spread of COVID-19 if, you know, during this, if at all there will be any spread during these games? And with the coming now of the vaccines, are you going to insist that every athlete or spectator should be vaccinated before participating?
Okay, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Please, your name and where you're calling from. Okay.
Go ahead,
hear you.
Go ahead. Hello, Robosa. Okay, I think we lost it.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, to your question, everything possible has been put in place. We've been working with NCDC and the PTF from day one. In fact, a committee was set up and to look at the possibility of hosting the festival with the COVID-19 in place. It was the chairman was Mr. Okowa, the chairman of the Sports Commission in Delta State.
Yes.
So they were here for a week, and they went around all the COVID-19 facilities, went around the sport facilities, and they were satisfied that Edo State can host the festival even with the COVID-19 in place. And
hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
This is Light. Friday from Edo State.
Hello, please turn down the volume on your TV set, please. Turn down the volume, please.
I want to know if there is no activities much from the people of Edo State. I think there is no need hosting this festival because
the plan for it is for socio-economic development. People will come from different areas to build those State economy. That is one. So if you are doing something and it's not affecting the life of people generally, I think there is no base hosting this festival. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's what he feels about that. I guess
Yes,
you may want to respond.
yes, like I said earlier, the socio-economic aspect of the festival may not be if the spectators are not allowed to come in. But we are still discussing that, and I think spectators may be allowed to come in. So he is right, but that because if spectators are not allowed to come in, the festival should not hold. That shouldn't be. After all, so many tennis championships have been held. The EPL is holding, the stadium is empty, and they watch on TV, and they are happy. So,
hello. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Last time they asked us to employ for the volunteers which we go. So when they have employed us and we have submitted our passport and all those things before the postponement. Should it be to the exam before the postponement? So we are still waiting. We don't know whether we are still going to make use of all. We are still going to actually know where are we going to be trained, where are we going to be taking our position. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
okay, yes, the issue of volunteers is still there. It has not been scrapped. I said yesterday that I was going to talk to Okinebu, the Edo Jobs woman, who helped us to do the screening for the volunteers. And though the number that was earmarked before was like 1,000, but we'll scale it down now because the number of people that we are expecting may not be so much. But they will still be. There will still be volunteers.
Yeah,
Okay,
I still want to go back to that
question.
question of, preparations in terms of the
COVID.
vaccination. Would it be out of place to insist that all athletes should be vaccinated?
That is the directive of the MOC and the directive of the PTF. And one of the conditions they gave that if the games must hold, all the participants coming here must be vaccinated at least 12 days before they come. And those states have started their own now at the stadium. If you go to the stadium today, you will see that the athletes there are being vaccinated. And apart from that, all the other protocols of washing hands, sanitizer, using hand sanitizer and all those things, they will still be using face masks. They will still be.
What about people coming in, other journalists, spectators from outside?
The journalists are not going to be mixing up with the athletes anyway, because they are not in the games village. And I don't think they have told them that they must come with their vaccination and all those things. But every other thing like face masks and washing of hands, they must take place. We are also going to ensure that all the venues there are washing places, workstation where you can wash your hands. And we must insist that before you come into the stadium, into the arena, you use your face mask. And so that all these issues of COVID-19 will be reduced. We are not here to spread the COVID at all. No.
All right. Okay, fine, COVID-19 is there. But what about security of the athletes?
The Edo State governor is personally at the head of the security. So the security architecture they put in place is to ensure that no life is lost, no property is destroyed. Even along the road, you will see what they will do. They have a very good plan for security during the games.
Yeah, I want you to clear something. The statement from the Office of the SSG and that of the Ministry of Education, there seem to be
controversy.
Yes.
I also saw it. And during the press briefing, somebody asked that question too. And the truth is that the SSG came to clear the air that the program, that the school calendar will remain in place the way they planned it before. It is not altered in any way. So the circular that went out, they are not going to use it at all. That maybe they are going to short the time, the calendar, write their exam because of the festival. The festival is not in any way interfering with the school calendar, not at all.
Now, if I may ask, where exactly is the games village? Where are you going to use
the University of Benin.
The University of Benin.
Kenwan campus and Ubowo.
Does it mean that the University of Benin will be shut down too?
No, University of Benin is finishing their exam, I think, on the 1st. No, not on the 1st. They are finishing their exam around this week. Then they will give us about 4 or 5 days to go there and clean up the place again, because we renovated that place very well before. But once the student enter, we know that things are not going to be what it used to be. So they will give us about 3 or 4 days to clean up the place, and bulbs that are dead, maybe the sink that are no longer working, the toilet seat that are no longer there, we refix them before the athletes will come in on the 2nd.
Okay. Now, what about
traffic?
Traffic, yes.
Traffic.
And you know, the rains are here. It comes in heavy these days, especially in the mornings. What do you do? Because most part of that road, most sections, you experience flooding there. What is being done about that?
We even if there is flooding, it doesn't stop vehicle from moving. But we told you about volunteers just now. They are going to be there. The ESMA people are going to be mobilized along the routes of where they will be, from Ugbowo to, say, Etete, from Ugbowo to the stadium, from Ugbowo to Wire Road, where we have the facilities. So the ESMA people will be there, and we are going to strengthen them too with we are bringing in about 700 PUWOF to also strengthen the ESMA people and also be at the various venues. Like, before you come in, they must make sure that your temperature is not above 36 or that type of a thing. Those people that will be doing that are these volunteers, because we don't have medical people that will be able to go around all these places. So both the PUWOF and the other volunteers, like the other guy said just now, will be responsible for that, and traffic will be controlled. But for flooding, people have been passing there.
Okay. You know, the last time when the DG was here, he talked about one of the reasons why they still want to host the games is because they need to prepare, get athletes for the Olympics. Yes. Now, looking at the time frame now and the Olympics, is there ample time to do all of that?
Yes, there are some sports that have not concluded their selection processes. Like athletics, for instance, if you run, say, a week to the Olympics and you meet the standard, automatically your name goes in. So if you run here, that is why we have to certify the stadium, make sure that it is certified, that any record or any time we record here goes into the international system and they can use it. So that has been done. So those sports where qualification has not been concluded, yes, the festival can still serve as a selection place for them, for Nigeria.
Okay.
So we are good to go.
Yes.
Yes, we are good to go.
And
then when will the people begin to see the sports festival, Edo 2020 and all of that?
I saw the jingle yesterday. They just played it for us. The publicity people have designed it and they played it for us, and it was okay. I think maybe tomorrow, next tomorrow, day after tomorrow, they should be on air. So we are good. Even the billboards, they will still be coming back.
How prepared is Edo State? You see
yeah,
Edo State
apart
coming
from
out
hosting.
tops.
Yes, from the one we said we are hosting to win, and it is still there. The athletes are training, and they have been training. They are not really stopped training, even up till now. So now they are in camp. So we hope that they should be able to do us proud as before. Edo have never come below 3rd position since inception of the festival. Never. So, but this time around, we hope we are hosting to win, just like we did in 2002.
Yeah, I think we were almost out of time, but I just want you to quickly...
Puma is so much in a hurry, as if he wants to be part of this game.
I promised you I was going to be a part of this.
Oh, you'll be part in the studio.
No, as a spectator, supporters club.
No, don't worry. There will still be room for you.
There will still be room for me.
Yeah, okay. So go ahead. You wanted to ask a question?
Yes, I wanted to quickly ask, the idea behind this... Edo 2020 sports festival. A lot of people, like you said, we are hosting to win. A lot of people believe now that the games are not really all about sportsmanship again. It's like a competition to just win at all costs. Do you share that thought? Do you think that it's going to be different now? Because every state that hosts wants to win, and so they use money and all of that.
No. Lagos State hosted, and they told us they are not hosting to win. Okay. And they didn't win. Delta came first. I think Edo was second. So they were about fourth or fifth, and the governor was happy. So the idea of winning at all costs is not really there. But because we are a force to be reckoned with in sports in this country, so if we host and we don't win, it's like a minus. When Mudia told me those days that if you win a silver, it is failure to win gold. So don't say I win a silver. No. Say you fail to win gold. So that is it. That's the spirit of Edo State. That's the spirit of Bender then, and it is still there.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Emmanuel Igbonosa, Secretary, Edo 2020. Thank you for coming on Midweek.
Very, very much. And thank you, everybody. Those are calling. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of the program. Yes, Edo is good to go. Sports Festival on the run.
Yes. Join us again next week at 9 a.m. Wednesday for a very fresh episode of Midweek Connect. My name is Ufoma Isegene, and I still promise Agatha that I'll still be a part of
I'll
this.
see you there.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.